Hey, what's going on, everyone? Listen, if you've been desperately waiting to hear whether that $2,000 payment is actually going to hit your bank account, I need you to stop everything you're doing right now, because what I'm about to share with you changes everything. The White House just dropped some massive news yesterday that you absolutely need to hear, and honestly, this is the most concrete information we've gotten in months. I'm talking real timelines, real numbers, and real answers about who's getting this money. So don't click away, because by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what's happening, when it's happening, and most importantly, whether you qualify for this payment. What's up, everybody? Lee here, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, let me tell you what we do. For over 6 years now, I've been in the trenches helping millions of families just like yours navigate through the confusing world of financial relief programs, stimulus payments, and government benefits. Why do I do this? Because I've been exactly where you are right now, struggling to pay the bills, trying to figure out what programs I qualify for, getting the runaround from so-called experts who make everything more complicated than it needs to be. So on this channel, you get the straight truth, no fluff, no nonsense, just the real information you need to put money in your pocket. Now, before we jump into this game-changing update, do me a quick favor and smash that subscribe button right now, because I promise you, you're going to want to be notified the second any new information drops about these payments. Trust me on this one. All right, let's get right into what's actually going down with these $2,000 payments, because there's a lot of confusion out there, and I'm going to clear it all up for you right now. So the president's been talking about this since way back in July. But here's the thing, he's not even calling them stimulus checks. He's calling them dividend payments. Now, why does that matter? Because the whole idea here is that money's coming in from tariffs on trade deals, and instead of that cash just sitting in government accounts, they want to send it directly to you, to American families who actually need it. Now, here's something huge that Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent already confirmed back in early November, and by the way, I made a whole video breaking this down if you want to go check that out on my channel. These payments are going to households earning under $100,000 a year. That's your income cap right there, $100,000. But hold on, because I need to address something that literally hundreds of you have been asking me about in the comments. If you're collecting Social Security, if you're on SSI, if you're on SSDI, if you're a senior who doesn't even file tax returns, listen to me very carefully. You are not automatically disqualified from this payment. I don't care if you don't work. I don't care if you haven't filed taxes in years. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is your income level. If you're bringing in less than $100,000 a year, you're in the game. That's it. That's the requirement. Now, here's where things get really exciting. Yesterday, and I mean literally yesterday, White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett sat down for an interview and dropped some seriously specific information about these $2,000 payments. And just so you know who this guy is, he's not just some random advisor. This man is literally on the short list to potentially become the next Federal Reserve chairman. So when he talks, people listen, and what he said is huge. Let me break down exactly what Kevin Hassett revealed. He said that back during the summer months, he honestly wasn't sure there would be enough room in the budget to make these payments happen. But check this out. Now, after seeing a couple quarters of almost 4% economic growth, after watching the government run an actual surplus for multiple months in a row, and after seeing the deficit drop by a massive $600 billion compared to last year, he's feeling pretty confident that there actually is space in the budget to make this happen. But then he said something that absolutely blew my mind and should get you excited too. He flat out stated that he expects the president to bring an official proposal to Congress in the new year to make these payments a reality. Do you understand what that means? We're not in maybe territory anymore. We're not in we'll see what happens mode. A top White House economic advisor is going on record saying he expects an official proposal in early 2026. That is absolutely massive news. Now, Hassett also clarified something important about where this money is actually coming from. While tariff revenue could fund these payments, Congress still has to officially appropriate those funds. Look, that's not shocking. Any government spending, no matter what it is, has to go through Congress for approval. But the fact that he's discussing this in such concrete, specific terms tells me this is way more real than a lot of people think. So let's talk about the actual process of how this gets passed, because this is where things get really interesting and honestly super hopeful for everyone waiting on this money. Congress has already signaled that they're planning to push through at least 2 more reconciliation bills between now and early 2027. Now, you might be asking, Lee, what in the world is a reconciliation bill? Great question. It's basically a special legislative tool that lets one political party pass major bills with just a simple majority in the Senate. We're talking 51 votes instead of the normal 60 votes that most legislation requires to pass. They literally just used this exact process over the summer to pass a massive multi-trillion-dollar tax cut bill. So here's why this matters so much for your $2,000 payment. If they package these payments into a reconciliation bill, they can push it through way faster without needing to negotiate with the other party or scramble to find 60 votes. From a pure political strategy standpoint, and I'm not making this political, I'm just stating facts here, the party in power gets to take full credit for putting $2,000 in your pocket. And with midterm elections coming up fast, that's one heck of an incentive to make this happen sooner rather than later. All right, so the million-dollar question, or should I say the $2,000 question. When are we actually going to see this official proposal come out? Kevin Hassett said early 2026. But what does early 2026 actually mean? Let me give you my realistic take on this timeline. If they're genuinely serious about making this happen, I believe we're going to see the official proposal by mid to late February at the absolute latest. Here's my reasoning. Once we roll into March, we're in full-blown campaign season for those midterm elections. If they want to use these $2,000 payments as a major campaign talking point, which the president has already indicated they plan to do, they need to get that proposal out there and start talking about it by early to mid-February. So I'm looking at the first 6 weeks of the new year, January through mid-February. That's the window where I genuinely expect to see this proposal drop if it's going to happen. Now hold on, I need to manage expectations here. Just because the proposal comes out doesn't mean money hits your account the next day. There's still going to be congressional votes that have to happen. The bill has to actually pass. The IRS is going to need time to process millions of payments. Realistically, we're probably looking at spring or early summer of 2026 for actual money to start flowing into accounts, assuming everything moves forward without major delays. Let me get crystal clear about exactly who qualifies for this money based on everything we know right now. First up, income requirement. You need to be in a household making under $100,000 per year. Now, we don't have confirmation yet on whether that's individual income or combined household income, and we don't know if there's going to be a phase-out like we saw with previous stimulus checks, but that $100,000 threshold has been mentioned consistently, so that's what we're working with. Social Security recipients, yes, you absolutely would qualify as long as your income falls under that threshold. This includes regular Social Security retirement benefits, SSI, SSDI, all of it. And listen carefully, you do not need to file a tax return to receive this payment. I cannot stress that enough because I keep getting this question. Seniors, exact same situation. Whether you're 65, 75, 85 years old, if your income is under $100,000, you're likely qualifying for this payment. Veterans, if you're collecting VA benefits and your total income sits under that threshold, you should qualify. Parents with kids, based on how previous payment structures worked, there's a good chance there might be additional money per child, though that hasn't been officially confirmed yet. Unemployed workers, if you're currently out of work or your hours got slashed and your income dropped below $100,000, you'd likely qualify. People living with disabilities, whether you're on SSDI, Veterans Disability Benefits, or any other disability program, if your income qualifies, you should be getting this payment. The absolute key thing you need to understand is this payment is all about your income level. It's not about whether you work. It's not about what type of government benefits you're receiving. It's not about your age or your employment status. It's purely about that income number. Now let me tell you why this latest update has me genuinely encouraged. First off, the White House economic advisor went from saying, "I'm not sure if there's budget room for this back in the summer," to now saying, "I'm pretty confident there is room for it." That's a huge shift in tone and confidence. Second, the economic data is actually backing this up. Multiple months of government surplus, deficit down substantially, strong economic growth. These are exactly the conditions that make a payment like this both politically smart and economically possible. Third, we've got a real timeline now. Early 2026 for an official proposal is the most specific, concrete information we've gotten since this whole thing started. Fourth, the reconciliation bill pathway is already there. They don't have to play nice with the other party. They don't need to scrape together 60 votes. They can push this through with a simple majority, which dramatically increases the odds of this actually happening. But here's what I need you to do right now. Don't just sit around waiting and hoping this happens. You need to take action to make absolutely sure you're ready when and if these payments get approved. Here's your action plan. Number 1, file your 2024 taxes as soon as humanly possible. If this payment goes through, they're going to use your most recent tax return to figure out if you qualify and what your income level is. Get those taxes filed early. Number 2, update all your information with the IRS immediately. Make sure they've got your current mailing address and your direct deposit information on file. You can handle this at irs.gov. If they're going to send you money, you want to make absolutely certain it actually reaches you without any delays or issues. Number 3, even if you don't normally file taxes, you might still need to file to claim this payment. That's exactly what happened with previous stimulus checks for people on Social Security and SSI. So even if you're not legally required to file, keep your eyes open for information about filing specifically to claim this payment. Number 4, do not fall for scams. Once this gets closer to actually happening, scammers are going to come out of the woodwork like cockroaches. Remember this forever. The IRS will never, and I mean never, call you, text you, or email you asking for personal information to get a stimulus payment. Anyone who does that is a scammer trying to steal from you. Don't fall for it. Number 5, while you're waiting for this potential payment, go check out other benefits you might qualify for right now. Head over to benefits.gov and use their screening tool. There might be programs like SNAP, LIHEAP, or Medicaid that could help you today, not months from now. Let me speak directly to some specific groups who've been flooding my comments with questions. Moms and dads out there, I know you're getting crushed by childcare costs, grocery bills that keep going up, school expenses that never seem to end. If this payment comes through, it could be a massive help for your family. Make sure your tax return includes every single one of your dependents and that all your income information is completely accurate. Seniors living on a fixed income, you've been hit incredibly hard by inflation while your Social Security checks barely budged. This payment has absolutely nothing to do with your work history or whether you file tax returns. Just focus on making sure the IRS has your current up-to-date information on file. Veterans, you served this country and sacrificed for all of us, and you absolutely deserve this support. Whether you're still working, you're retired, or you're on disability, if your income qualifies, you should be getting this payment. People living with disabilities, this is not about whether you can work or not. It's purely about your income number. If you're under that $100,000 threshold, you should qualify for this money. Unemployed workers, if you lost your job or your hours got slashed and your income dropped, you could definitely qualify. Just make sure you file your 2024 taxes to show that reduced income level. Now look, I need to be completely real and honest with you right now. Is this payment 100% guaranteed to happen? No, it's not. There's still a chance the proposal doesn't get introduced. There's a chance it gets introduced but doesn't pass. There's a chance it passes but gets changed or modified. I'm not going to lie to you or give you false hope. But here's what I will tell you. This is hands down the most concrete, specific information we've had about this payment since the president first mentioned it way back in July. Kevin Hassett isn't some random blogger making predictions. He's the White House economic advisor. He's literally in the room where these decisions are being made, and he's saying on the record that he expects this proposal to move forward. The economic conditions are lining up perfectly. The political incentives are crystal clear. The pathway exists through those reconciliation bills. Every single piece is falling into place in a way that makes this more likely to happen than not. Does that mean you should count on this money for next month's rent? Absolutely not. But should you be prepared, informed, and watching for updates? 100% yes. Look, I know you're exhausted from hearing maybe and soon and we'll see. You need help right now, not 6 months down the road. I completely understand that frustration because I've lived it. What I can tell you with confidence is that yesterday's update is the most encouraging, concrete news we've gotten on this payment. We've got a real timeline with early 2026 for the proposal. We've got a clear income threshold at $100,000. We've got a White House advisor saying he's confident there's budget room for it. That's more solid information than we've had at any point before, and things are definitely moving in the right direction. In the meantime, please check out all those resources I mentioned. There's help available right now while we're all waiting for this. You don't have to struggle through this alone. Keep all your information updated with the IRS. File those taxes early. Stay informed and educated, but don't let this consume your every waking thought. We're going to know a lot more in the next 6 to 8 weeks, and I promise you, I'll be right here keeping you updated every single step of the way. The second that official proposal drops, I'm going to have a video up breaking down every single detail so you know exactly what it means for you and your family. If this video helped you understand what's going on, if it gave you some hope or just cleared up the confusion, do me a huge favor right now and hit that subscribe button. It's completely free, it takes 2 seconds, and it means you'll never miss an update about these payments or any other financial relief programs that could put money in your pocket. Seriously, that subscribe button is your best friend right now. And hey, share this video with anyone you know who's been asking about these payments. Your mom, your neighbor, your coworkers, your friends in your group chats. Everyone needs this information. Drop all your questions down in the comments section below, and I'll jump in there and answer as many as I possibly can. I read every single comment, I promise you that. Take care of yourselves out there. Take care of each other, look out for your neighbors, and always remember, you are not alone in this struggle. I've got your back, this community has your back, and together we're going to get through this. I'll see you in the next video with more updates. Peace.